are going on the Vicksburg National Military Park Tour Road. I actually don't know what all we're going to see down here, but it's pretty cool. Some people walk through, some people are driving. I'm not even sure how long it was, so we just entered Union Lines. I might pull over somewhere and then just keep walking through. But I thought this would be cool to see. So anyway, this is where on July 4th, Ulysses E. Grant won the Civil War, the confrontation in Vicksburg on July 4th for the Union Army. I took a picture of the signs that tell which states are in the Union Army and the Confederate Army because in history class, that's just nothing I ever had to remember. The crazy thing is they have a big alert out here about spiders. I know that sounds weird. Oh, I'm going to have to open this door and see if I can get it to stop squeaking. Anyway, they have a big alert out here about spiders and snakes and ants, spiders, snakes. There was one other thing that was pretty significant, it said. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I don't want to come into contact with any of those. They have a general sign that talks about them, but then they had another sign in the visitor center that said that it's just don't stick your hands in cannons. Anything that would actually make a little bit of sense, but apparently is at high concern right now. Sorry, I had to pause because I wanted to try and read that sign. And now as I drive through here, you're driving through a tour, and it's nice and it's beautiful, but I can't read. Like that one says something about Illinois, and there's like cars behind you, so I can't really stop and read anything. So I might have to pull over and get out and walk it, which is no big deal. I just thought it was going to be, because I said a driving tour, I thought it was going to be like really, really long. The speed limit through this driving tour is 25 miles. But at 25 miles, I don't think you could read this stuff. That one said Ohio. Oops, there went my coffee. Pick up my coffee. Yeah, I'm going to probably have to pull over somewhere so I can get out and walk and see this stuff. Oh, wow. Can you see over here? That is pretty cool. Don't know what it is. This one says Indiana. The one on the left says Jesse Alexander. Driving through Wisconsin 8th Infantry. And then I don't know what this giant monument to my left is, but I would like to know. So I'm going to have to take a look at it. We are stopping here. This is Sanborn, John Sanborn, Colonel. So it does talk about who and what they are. That big monument, the signs are on the side. I think I'll just drive through first, and then I'm going to get out and I'm going to walk and I'm going to read some of these and take pictures, because they have little monuments to each state that was involved, both on the Union and Confederate side. You watch a video before you start this, which by the way, the video was cool. I like doing that because it informs you as you're going through, and it gives you the missing pieces that you may not know about. Like in school, I'm sure at one point I probably learned about the Battle of Vicksburg. Oh, excuse me. But I didn't learn of its significance and how they surrendered. It wasn't like a battle that was actually won. It was won due to surrender because his troops couldn't handle the last part of it, or Pemberton didn't believe his troops. So at the end of it, Grant went on to military success, and Pemberton resigned his position as a failure. God, look at these beautiful rolling hills. This is what they were talking about. They were saying that these rolling hills and these bluffs are what made it easy for the Confederate Army to defend Vicksburg for so long. and to hold the Union armies at bay, because they could see the Union armies coming in through the Mississippi, but the Union armies could not see the Confederate armies. But there are lots of people out there walking. The way they kept talking about this driving tour and expressing the driving tour, it made it sound like it was going to be too much to walk, but it's not if they're all out there. So I think I'm going to get out there. So I got out of the RV for a minute to walk up to where all these cannons are. You could see them. And then there's some down over here. And there's some monuments out in the distance and some houses. I'm going to go check those out. But look at this. Look at all these rolling hills. This is really beautiful. Really beautiful. I'm going to take a picture of this so I can read it later. Hopefully it won't shut off the video. But what they were talking about on the movie Inside the National Parks was that this was what made Vicksburg, because Grant tried to attack him off the Mississippi several times and it didn't work. Then he came down from the north and up from Louisiana and it didn't work. He tried so many different ways and couldn't get by, and they're saying it's because of these hills. These hills made it where the Confederates were able to keep off the Union Party for so long. But then they got dysentery and they got malaria, and they were cutting back their rations and there was no food coming in. So it just weakened the Confederate troops. Anyway, I'm going to get back in the vehicle and drive up to those other things and see what is going on out here. Okay, so I'm back in the rig, back on the road. I'm going to finish this driving tour and check out all these monuments. All of our national parks have some sort of historical events or things that occurred that distinguish them. But this one particularly impresses me because a war actually happened right here, right on this spot. And then the other one I went to impresses me because that's where the 9 African American kids wanted to go to high school, so Central High is now a national park. I just think that kind of stuff is cool when you have national parks that are made based on that history. But Yellowstone, gorgeous. The Grand Tetons, gorgeous. Glacier, gorgeous. Grand Canyon, gorgeous. But all the national parks. I'm not trying to be some sort of spokesperson or promote them, but I love seeing all of them. I love going back. I've gone back to probably all those parks I mentioned, plus Zion and Bryce, more times than I could count or remember, and I'll be going back again. So I'm going to be quiet for a while and just drive through. Illinois again. Ohio. I haven't seen Missouri or Michigan, I think. One way. I'm going to go this way first. Tour Road, Shirley House, Illinois Monument, 3rd, Louisiana Redan. That's the other thing. I keep seeing these signs about the Louisiana Redan. I don't know what that is. So this was a Union Trench Division. Just beautiful. It's so weird to think a war was fought here. Union Trench Logan Division. And I can see how they could hide, because down there, there's a big hole down there. It's huge. idea where this road leads to, but there's no more monuments. But it did say one way, and it did say I could go this way, but now I'm in the middle of the woods, not by any of those monuments. This is the story of my life. Getting lost to get found. Actually makes for a fun adventure, and definitely makes for some beautiful sights, but I hope I didn't mess up my order to my tour. Oh wow, where am I going? So I think I'm going over a bridge to a river, and there's some people in there. I wonder if I'm at the park side. Oh, I can't see down there. No, there's a road down there. Wow, guys, I don't know if the camera is grabbing how beautiful this place is. But I definitely think I left the driving tour. I'll have to go back to that monument and get back on it. Oh, I'm on the back of something. There's a giant monument in front of me. Now we're back to some monuments. Well, I guess I wasn't lost. That was just a little bit weird. Wisconsin. Ooh, that huge one is Wisconsin. Wow, that's beautiful. Let's see. Oh, they do have a parking space. Yay! I'm gonna park and go on up there. So I pulled over at that big one that says Wisconsin, and we're gonna climb on up to it. All these stairs remind me of that Rocky thing. On this side they have some statues of some soldiers, and the same on that side. But let's go up there and see what that's about. I'll zoom back out. Try not to shake you too much as I go up all these stairs. But look at how big that is. And that looks like that's an eagle on the top. Oh, that's a horse with a soldier. See, now that you get up closer to it, you can see him better. Holy cow. That's all the stairs I just came up. This memorial is dedicated in grateful remembrance of the faithful service, unselfish devotion, and exalted patriotism of Wisconsin soldiers engaged in campaigning and sieging of Vicksburg, March 29th to July 4th, 1863. Oh, it looks like it has their names and stuff on here. That's not going to show up very well in the video, and it looks like it's done in copper or pewter or something, but it does have the names of infantries and soldiers with their titles. Pretty cool. You often see these lists at different memorials. The most famous one, but not the most significant one, is Schindler's List. That's the most famous one. You know, the monuments I see are all for the northern states. I haven't seen any for the southern states yet. I wonder why that is. And I get that the North won, they won the war, but all the soldiers lost their lives. So it's interesting. Oh, I think I'm back. Tour Road, USS Cairo Museum, National Cemetery, Visitor Center, Tour Road, Grant Avenue Loop, two-way traffic. I think I'm going to do the Grant Avenue Loop, two-way traffic first, and then go down to the museum and the graveyard because they did, or in the cemetery, because they did tell me I would want to spend a lot of time down there. So I'm going to do this first. Grant's headquarters area, Sherman Circle. There's another tall monument. I cannot read it from here. I really am trying to find those houses again to see what was in them. I think that Grant one we see in most of the movies is over here because this one with the horse I know I've seen in movies. Grant headquarters. I have to get out and see that. New Hampshire, finally New Hampshire. See, that's the one we always see in all the movies. That one up there. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to park and walk through some of this stuff. These two monuments up in front of me sort of look like chess pieces. Do you see that? Did I tell you? I have to tell you guys this because I've been trying to learn how to actually play chess the right way my whole life and actually win a chess game. I still don't know if I learned to play it the right way because I didn't have any written rules, just putting that out there. But I did play chess, and I finally won one chess game. I have a feeling somebody let me win the chess game, I'm not sure, but I finally won a chess game, and I was pretty impressed with myself because I was almost 50 when I finally won a chess game. Oh, somebody put a flag by Indiana. That's nice. I wonder if people have traced their ancestors all the way back to the Civil War and come out here and put stuff like that out there. There are people that do that. I have an aunt who does all that genealogy stuff and trace everybody. And I think it's very cool. But for some families it's hard to do because you never know who's really what and what's really what. You can only guess and speculate. What the heck was that? That was a loud noise on the top of the rig. And I hope I didn't hit a low-hanging branch. They told me that it was okay to drive this through here, and I've seen other RVs through here. But that was a boom. Maybe something hit the air conditioner sticking out. I don't know. We're going this time. I know, I'm like I'm stalking you guys or something. See ya. That's the other cool thing. I have to tell you guys, I meet the nicest people out here. The nicest people. I don't think I've met a bad person yet. And not just a bad person, I mean anybody just being rude or not wanting to deal with me or answer my questions or anything like that. The people in the visitor center, that's, I guess, the biggest piece of advice I could give anybody who wants to do a trip like this or is going to a state or a place they've never been, even a city you've never been. Go to the visitor center. They know everything. They're like the answer box. They're like the Google for their city. I think I'm going to do a whole video on that because they really are. There's approach. Oh, they talk about that on the thing. Oh, look down there and out there. Wow. to take you guys off the holder so you can see out the window and see what I'm seeing. Okay, I'm back. So this is Thayer's Approach, and I took a picture of this, so I'll post it with the video. But look at these hills. This is where an actual significant battle was fought. And I'm going to go down there because you can see where the trench was dug. Look how skinny that trench is. But there's also a tunnel through here that they hid their artillery in. So I'm going to go down there and check that out. And I'm going to take you with me. I like videotaping these things because I want people to come and I want them to see their history, our history, everybody's history. But I don't video record the whole thing because I do think that people need to come and see and do stuff themselves. So there's the tunnel entrance. I'm going to go there in a second. But I want to go down and see this trench because it's so super skinny. Unless, I'm sure over time, part of it, grew over or what have you. But this is where it was an actual trench. See that? And they got all the way up there. I wonder if this is the part in the battle. They said that the soldiers tried to get through, and they made these ladders to climb up the bluffs. Gotta be careful of this trench, because they said to be careful of the high grass areas, because they do have a snake issue. I ain't afraid of no snake. Just kidding. Snake. Ow, Jesus. See, I just stepped in a hole. Anyway, sorry. We can believe that or there. Oh, there's one of the anthills they said to be worried about. Or be weary of. Oh, the other thing? Now I remembered bees. I love bees, but I don't want to be stung by them. This is another Illinois one. Illinois 13th Infantry Assault May 20th, 1963. Killed 1, wounded 1, total 2. I think an ant got me because my foot hurts all of a sudden. Battle everywhere. Very crazy. Very crazy. And that's up where the rig is. But I came down here to see it because I thought, because you can see the holes of the trench all through here, I thought I'd be able to see, ouch, my foot really does hurt, and get more into them, but you really can't. They're super skinny. So I don't know if they covered up with time. And look, you can see how in the video they show you, they talk about zigzagging it, and how they zigzag the trenches so they wouldn't get noticed or shot at. I think that's cool. Because if they kept the trenches in a straight line, they could just shoot cannons and rifle power. I think their guns were called rifles back then, in straight lines and get everybody. So they zigzag them. So even though if you hit one trench, you don't know where that trench led to or where the other trench is. Oh my God, please tell me a fire ant did not bite me. My foot is killing me all of a sudden. I'm going into the tunnel. Just gonna have to suck it up because leave it to me to go explore a Civil War battlefield and get bit by a fire ant. I guess the mosquitoes gave up for the season. Now it's the dang ants. I don't even know. My foot is on fire though. We're in the tunnel. This tunnel is where they hid a lot of their ammunition. It's actually pretty cool. But I do have to say this. If you know me, you know I'm not a tall person. And back then, people weren't tall either. I'm 5'4". The tunnel was maybe 3 or 4 inches above my head. Look, there's a trail that goes further on. And then this leads you back up to the car. And there's the end of the tunnel I just came through. That is pretty cool. But anyway, that tunnel, if you're a grown person, you'd probably have to duck to go through there. Oh, they had caution tape here. Hope it's okay. Didn't say it wasn't. I stepped in fire ants. They've gotten me about 3 times on my right foot. It is killing me. But I'm going to finish this driving tour, and I will whine about that later. I can't promise you won't hear about it again, because I know you're probably tired of hearing about those mosquitoes. And I don't remember what you're supposed to put on fire ants. And yes, I am going to Google that because I have to stop this pain. Maybe that's what's going to make me to Google the stuff I need to Google, is if it causes me physical pain. Maybe mental pain too. I don't know. I'm following the road, but there's supposed to be a ship down here and a ship museum and a cemetery. Oh, there's a big monument over here on my left. Wow, that one is huge. Okay, this is a tribute to the Navy for the northern troops. Look at how tall that is. Goes all the way up there. And those look like some sort of stabilizers up there or something that's being worked on. Pretty dang cool. There's a thing about the Navy to the rescue. I'll take a picture of that so we could put it in the film and make it stay still so people can read it. Pretty dang cool. I think this is the tallest one I've seen here so far. Wow, this view is incredible. Just incredible. Look down there, there's the boat. I can't wait to go. I'm sorry, that was a bad view. USS Cairo Museum. Let's go check it out. And then there's the National Cemetery. And I cannot take the rig in there. So we will walk through the cemetery. Look at that. I don't think I've ever seen a ship that old. Well, I know I haven't seen a ship that old. I gotta find a place to park this thing. So I am at the USS Cairo, which is inside the Civil War National Parks Museum in Mississippi. This is the front of the ship, and over here is the USS Cairo Museum. I did go through there, but I didn't record anything because they do actually have stuff that was recovered on this ship and other ships. And what I've learned about refractory light is that it does damage that stuff. And it's pretty cool because they have shoes, they have dishes, they have bottles, they have all kinds, they have guns. But this is the ship that was recovered at the bottom of the Mississippi. It wasn't recovered till the 1960s. And then they did restore part of it so you can see like the original framework and ironwork. But then you can see they built these structures to hold it back together. But it's pretty cool. There's 3 cannons over there. These cannons. And the coolest part is that over here you get to actually go on to the ship. I have to tell you, these ships carried a lot of soldiers and a lot of coal and a lot of ammunition. But it just seems so small for everything that it had to carry. And wait till you see those wheels in there. And the fact that it was so heavy going on the water. Look at this. Look at this mechanism here. So it's my understanding that this mechanism right here, by the way, this is the one that was originally recovered. There are some parts in it that have been restored, but this is the original mechanism. That goes up there. And at the top of there, the coal makes pressure that moves these 2 wires, not wires, cable things over here, because they're iron, they're not wires or cables. I don't know what you would call them. And they make those wheels spin. It used tons of coal to operate this machine. Here's the full thing about oscillating arm. That's the word I was looking for. It's an oscillating arm. I'm going to take a picture of this so it can be posted with the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But it was actually cool listening to the guy describe how it was working. I didn't record him. I didn't even ask to record him because, guys, really, I'm fascinated in listening to this stuff when I'm out here, and I want to learn and know for myself and then record it for you. But sometimes by the time, these are the coal ovens, by the time I go to record it for you, I can't remember everything they said. And I'm sorry about that, but then maybe it makes it where you need to come visit. Oh, that was the other cool thing. So these ships were manned by immigrants. I'm going to take a picture of this so it can be put on the video so you can read it. But basically, majority of the people on these ships were immigrants. And there's a great line in here. U.S. born, right there. U.S. born or not, these Union soldiers were fighting for the survival of the country they call home. But they were talking about how on the ships you would hear every different language. Every different language. Look at that. It's just very cool. That's called a capstan. I've been walking around here for hours. I really like it. And this thing talks about the pilot hole. I'm going to take a picture of this too because it's actually up above me. Up in there. That is the pilot hole. That's where the person running the ship would actually be. And I don't mean running the ship as in the manpower and stuff. Here's the thing that talks about a ton of coal in an hour. There was one person who ran the ship, and then there were other people who ran the manpower. Just like any other military thing, this was like a base on water. But very cool. Then you go down these steps and you can get closer to the outside and the lower parts. Oops. Sorry for my crinkling water bottle, but I haven't figured out how to carry a water bottle and the camera at the same time. I have an issue with that. And I bought myself a little bag to put a water bottle in to carry it. And I always seem to leave it behind when I get so excited to get out and see stuff. But here's the thing about the firepower and the armored plates. And the guy who had to build these had to build, I think, 6 of them in 100 days. Something like that. Just look. Sheer amazement that it's so much iron, and iron is so heavy. And that's what this boat was made out of, and they were called ironclads. And they were named after different cities in Ohio, I believe. There's the wheels for the water. But I like how they have the wood they actually recovered from the bottom of the Mississippi in the 1960s and with these. And then they just built out of, I'm sure, some sort of treated wood. See, like even these were restored with some of the original parts and then some treated wood. So you could actually see how they functioned. I still haven't gone on a boat. I said in Louisiana I was going to go on a boat on the Mississippi, and I haven't done it yet because I've been walking around seeing so much stuff. It's pretty crazy. But I definitely got to do that. Maybe I'll find one in Mississippi to go on. Or maybe I'll wait till I get up into the northern states. I don't know. Guys, there's just so much to do and see. Here's the thing about steering the ironclad. And the rudders. And here's about those paddle wheels. Those paddle wheels are so cool. I don't know why, but every time I see them, I romanticize them. It's a weird thing. I just think they're pretty. And these boats are cool. I was going to go on a boat in Louisiana, and there was some sort of film festival the weekend I was in New Orleans, so everything was all booked up everywhere, so I didn't go. And now I'm down in Mississippi, on the Mississippi River. I think I should find a boat. I don't know. We'll have to see. So this is the National Cemetery. And I was gonna leave the rig up there and walk through it, but the guy by the USS Cairo Museum says no, you should probably drive through it. They said it actually has more meaning. I don't know what that means, but it is strikingly beautiful. Its lineup is similar to Arlington, and then similar to, what's the other museum? I think it's Little Bighorn where I saw stuff lined up like this. Hello. Bunch of Boy Scouts coming through here. But from what I understand, the tombstones are lined up in here in some sort of alphabetical order by infantry, because some people they didn't know the names of and some people they did. Some people have like larger stones and then some people have those smaller stones. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or if you're just going to see reflections from the stuff out on my dash if I turn it up like that. But can you see down there? See reflections. The gun monument erected. No vision of the morrow strife, the warrior's dream alarms. No braying horn nor screaming fire at dawn shall call to arms. Again, it must be Old English. But this is pretty cool, and I hope my video is doing it justice, because all I see is the reflections of stuff on the dash, and I don't like that. Let me try and get that out of the way for you. Oh, jeez. Well, that's what it feels like when you think I've slammed on the brakes, but I really haven't. I've just pushed really hard to stop to get that stuff out of the way. And if the camera's bouncing, again, it's because it's on my stabilizer that isn't very stable, which cracks me up. But even in these little spots by these trees, there are people's gravestones. And below me there are people's gravestones. This one says, your old proud land's heroic soil must be your fitter grave. She claims from war his richest spoil, the ashes of the brave. Okay, now that one actually sounds familiar, so I wonder if these are all part of somebody's poem and something I've heard before. But you see all the stones down there? There's one over here on the left too that I will read as I drive by. No vision of the morrow strives, the warrior's dream alarms. No braying horn nor screaming fife at dawn shall call to arms. That is the same as the other one. 2nd Brig, 1st Division, Iowa. And their tombstones have numbers on them. I'm assuming that's their military number because it's not a year of birth and death. Sometimes it's just a 4-digit number. Well, that's it for the National Cemetery. I'm going to keep driving through the park and see what else I see. So this is that building I missed in the beginning. It's a monument. And that's the house. I'm going to go check that out in a minute. But we'll walk up here. This also says Illinois, so I think it's a monument to the soldiers from Illinois. But we'll go up and we will see. Because again, it's got a bazillion stairs. But there's another trench. And then this is the view from way up here on this Illinois monument of all the rolling hills with the trenches in it. Now we're gonna go inside. It looks completely made of marble. And I can't see all that from here to read it, so I'll take a picture and read it later. Now my glasses on. Alright, let's go check it out. impressive. See if I can get that whole thing in the picture. I don't know if I can. It's all the infantries. They're listed. It makes you dizzy, but it's beautiful. Seal of the state of Illinois. August 26, 1818. Wow. Illinois really did a good job out here with these monuments. There's Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses E. Grant. So now I'm at the Shirley House. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but people are saying you can go in it. So I'm going to go up these steps and try and figure out how to get in and see what it's about. Okay, so that front door didn't work. There's some steps going downstairs. And if you know me, you know how I feel about going into houses. Love it. But let's look through this window in case we can see something through there. Nope. All I can see is black, actually. I wonder if it's a curtain. Oh, here's a different one. Oh, I can see some bricks on the inside. I can't really see anything. Shoot. Well, they got recycle bins and garbage cans. People said you could go in. I don't think so. Nope, and this gate is locked too. Well, I'm in a national park. Don't want to go to prison. The whole place seems to be locked up. Let's push the elevator thing and see. Nope. Well, this is a Shirley House. I don't know what that means. I guess we'll go read about it. But no, I cannot get in.
Lose the faith.